Hello, I'm Carrie, and today we're going to get into a little discussion about diversity on Degrassi. Now, this discussion comes about because of a little social thing Degrassi's been hosting right now. It's their Degrassi Heartthrob tournament, where fans pick their favorite male characters, and these characters, they're all facing off against each other in order to crown a champion. Well, as of the making of this video, we're down to our final four. We have Drew, Eli, Zig, and Myles. I don't even really know how to start off what I want to say, so I'll just repeat what I tweeted. My first tweet, I said I was hoping to see Eli versus Myles in the championship. Now, Degrassi fans, we are super predictable. Our actions, our behaviors in regards to anything Degrassi related, Degrassi fans are very predictable, even more predictable than the show itself. I knew none of the non-A level characters that I love were ever going to get anywhere in this tournament, so I figured we'd just end up with a showdown between Eli, who's Degrassi's most popular male character of all time, and Myles, the current most popular male character on the show. I also tweeted this. This top four also highlights the need for not just diversity on Degrassi, but placing said diversity in power positions on the show. 3 of these 4 have combined to be the show's dominant male leads for the past 7 years. So Eli, Drew, and Myles have essentially been the face of Degrassi since 2010. Eli, he was the king of this show in seasons 10 through 12, and not just in his screen time, but also the social impact he had on Degrassi fandom. And it wasn't just Eli and Eclair fans I'm talking about. It was also the Eli and Eclair haters too. Both groups were so up each other's asses, constantly reacting toward the show and toward each other because of Eli. Now, Drew Torres, he was an interesting case because he was used a lot in seasons 11 and 12, but because fandom was so preoccupied with Eli and Eclair, Drew's role on the show flew under the radar until season 13, when Eli's role was drastically reduced. So in seasons 11 and 12, Eli was pretty much 1A and Drew was 1B. Then in season 13, we saw Drew become 1A, and then Myles Hollingsworth, he became 1B. Then when Drew left the show, Myles pretty much became the king of Degrassi Next Class. So I guess the question is, when do we ever see this extreme level of power and usage with minorities on the show? And does that correlate with the results that we're seeing in this Degrassi Heartthrob tournament, where literally no minority character made it past the first round? I can't help but think about the fact that this tournament is happening in the Degrassi Next Class era, and Degrassi Next Class is the first time in the modern Degrassi era that the majority of the cast is made up of people of color. And trust me, it's great to think about how Degrassi's improved in that regard, but we've also got to remember that in these first 4 seasons of Next Class, the cornerstone of the series has been a rich white family and their giant house. If you don't believe me, just go back and watch season 4 of Next Class. Every main teen character on the show made an appearance at the Hollingsworth house in season 4. Having a diverse cast is great, but it isn't enough to just have them standing in the background while the same types essentially drive the show year after year. And this isn't a knock on the power characters at all. Like Monroe and Eric and everybody, when given the opportunity to crush it, they do so every single time effortlessly. But when I think about Degrassi in my head, the first things that come to my mind, character-wise, Craig, Emma, Eli, Claire, Myles, Frankie. And when thinking about minorities on the show, it's usually something like, well, black guys, they kill it when they get an A-plot on the show, and it would be nice to see more of that, or to not see them get replaced on the show with another black guy. Or then I think, well, at least they're better off than the black girls on this show. Or damn, I have no choice but to put Baz and VJ at the bottom of my power rankings list because their characters aren't really used for anything. They're essentially placeholders for who knows what. Or I get that they had to kill off Adam, but there was still so much left on the table with him in terms of story. And I hope that they don't miss out on the opportunity to explore Yael's character more thoroughly than they were able to with Adam. When you ask people what they want to see Degrassi Next Class do or change, we've gotten a lot of responses of people essentially wanting Next Class to copy what TNG did. But that isn't what we should want in the case of Degrassi and diversity. When I think about who is the face of Degrassi in future seasons, I want to see a bunch of different faces, not more of what we've mostly seen since 2001. Degrassi's biggest asset over the years has been its willingness and ability to adapt and evolve, after all. And that's going to do it for this video. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Degrassi Corner for the latest Degrassi news and more.